What's up, guys, and welcome to my review of Lost Girl Season 5, Episode 3, Big in Japan, which is, I'm just gonna say, is not a Part 1 and or Part 2, so I don't know where that idea's gone to, but I assumed that they were only going to be in Part 1 and Part 2s this season, but apparently not. So, Lost Girl Season 5, Episode 3, Big in Japan. Now, this would have been a good episode for a lot of reasons, but I'm in two minds. My head's telling me, yeah, that's the best episode of the season. My heart's telling me, you've just been teased to fuck with Valkubus, and this is terrible, and you should hate every second of it. So I don't really know how to feel about it. There wasn't much actual story progression. It was one of them episodes where they focused mainly on an extra story for Bo. So in that sense, it was kind of like a filler, but not so much as the last one. Even though the last one had a lot of story progression, it was just kind of really dull and boring. This one, though, had a lot of kind of story in it for Lauren, and it was nice to see her and Dyson working together without wanting to rip each other's throats out, so that was pretty cool. And it was cool to see her kind of get her act together and think, yeah, I'm probably going to get killed or something, so let's actually trade myself up, and that was pretty cool. And it did actually work, so, you know, it was incredible how quickly it worked. I don't think they really had that in the time frame quite right, but it did work nonetheless. But yeah, this kind of as far as the main, the big picture goes, it was more focused around Lauren this episode, which is peculiar because that's never happened before. And it was nice. It was, as much as I don't really like Lauren's character, I'm not going to deny the fact that she's been pretty cool this season so far. So, yeah, obviously Bo's kind of having, what was it, she called it, a dry spell, where she has got no sex drive. But I'm not being funny. When you find out you sleep with your stepmom, that's enough to put someone off sex for a while. You know, you unintentionally sleep with someone you're pretty much related to, even if it's not by blood, then you're gonna lose it a little bit. But I mean, the main thing about this episode was it was kind of promoted as a Valkubus fangirl's dream, and it was going to be all kind of Bo and Tamsin, and it was going to be, that was it, you know. And that was pretty much what the episode was for Bo's part, you know. She was with Tamsin the majority of the time, even if we did kind of see her nearly with Dyson at the beginning and then nearly with Lauren after she got her arm slashed. She doesn't actually nothing actually happens for the first three quarters of the show. There nothing actually happens, and that actually goes the same for her and Tamsin. And so close, so many times it was so close that something was going to happen. You know, that thing that's been going on over Tumblr where Tamsin ends up in Bo's bed, that was that episode. So I don't know whether Tamsin's sex scene is going to be with Bo now, because I know everyone knows that Tamsin has one this season, but we all assumed that the pictures of Rachel Scarston and Anna Silk on set in Bo's bed was from that happening. But that happened them pictures were from yesterday's episode. So I don't really know. It's a tough one, because obviously Tamsin and Bo are getting closer, and I kind of get the feeling Tamsin's trying to step in for Kenzie, and I don't mean that in a horrible way, because no one's going to replace Kenzie, but I think she's trying to make sure that Bo still has a Kenzie-like figure in her life, And at the moment, she is the only one that's making Bo feel anything, whether that's laughter and happiness or kind of anger and hatred. She's the one that gets Bo to feed again, albeit she fed off Dyson, but she is the one that got Bo to feed after she was stabbed in the stomach by Ninja Dude. But I don't know, it was a very fast-paced episode, and I've said it every episode so far, and it really, I hate to say it again, but it really does feel like they're rushing it. Because in one episode, Lauren goes from being like completely unable to defend herself to is able to throw a syringe at a guy's neck and aim perfectly enough to knock him out. You know, that happens in the space of one episode. And I mean, I know it's no biggie that they go to Japan and all that, because that is the thing. They have that weird, like, travel system, but I don't know. It does just feel like everything's being rushed. And I don't like the feeling that everything's being rushed, because they've got so much time. And it's just, I don't want them to rush everything that happens in the last season. It's a real shame if they do. But yeah, I'll tell you one thing that they are not rushing. They are not rushing Valkubus. That's been going on for 3 fucking seasons, and it still hasn't, like, we still haven't had any input from Bo. And, you know, she's the frickin' succubus, you know. It's not as if she can't see that Tamsin is attractive. You know, she's, like, the most attractive one in the whole show. And she's just there like, oh, I can't see it. It's Tamsin. Fucking hell, Bo, my god. It really frustrates me. It really does. Because it's just freaking obvious, and it's the, you know, it's the most, like, sensible choice to make. I know this show doesn't really do sensible, so it's not really helping that I'm saying it's the most sensible choice to make. But it just is, and they're getting so close. Each episode has gone past and they're getting so close, to the point where apparently Tamsin is now quitting the police force and becoming Bo's second in command as a PI, but I don't know if that's actually going to happen, even though Dyson's kind of, like, pushed her towards it, so I don't know if that's actually going to happen. And also, I also freaked out with the minor glimpse of Cop Doc. What the fuck was that about? Lauren just doesn't go around putting her hand on Tamsin's knee. That doesn't happen. Ever. And I swear to God, if they make a bigger deal out of Cop Doc because Bo is now feeding off of Dyson, I will flip my shit and there won't be any more reviews because I will stop watching it. I don't want to see that shit on my screen. That's just fucking ridiculous. That is ridiculous. I don't understand how that could work. And I don't know if they are just teasing all the different ships, and I think that just might be what they're doing, and I hope that is just all they're doing with Cop Dog. I hope they are just kind of teasing it, because there's no way that it could happen now, not in the last season. That just can't happen. But you know, it just, there's a lot going on. And then to have it all kind of like end in this nice cozy scene where everyone's like led across the sofa, like with each other, like watching a film. It was nice to see everyone relax. Okay, I get that. But again, there's not been much since, like, I think there must have been a massive time gap between Like Hell Part 2 and Big in Japan as episodes. I think that stuff must have happened in between, because everyone knows that Kenzie's gone, and once again we don't see Bo break down or anything. She's like renovating the shack or whatever, and I think she's trying to keep it together, and every time Kenzie is mentioned she kind of like has a little bit of a emotional, not breakdown, but kind of breakdown. And it's like, I don't know. I don't honestly know where anything's going. I don't know where the storyline's going, the main storyline. I don't know where any of the ships are going. Normally at this point, we could kind of tell who Bo was going to be with for the season, but they are teasing everybody. Every single ship is getting attention, and as much as I love that, even though Valkubus isn't getting enough, it's kind of like you kind of get in your jam when your ship is getting attention, then you turn around, you like blink, and 2 seconds later Bo's getting off with another freaking ship, and I'm just there like, for fuck's sake, make up your mind. It's the last season, you're gonna have to end up with somebody. But you know, knowing the TV show as well as I do, it's probably going to end up being the case of she's going to choose everybody or nobody, because at this moment in time Bo isn't actually with anyone, so it's not like she's actually kind of doing anything wrong, I suppose, which is kind of new, because normally she's with someone and still sleeping with somebody else, but she's a succubus, so you know, it's expected. So it was, with her not being with anyone, I think everyone's going to get, like, a taste of their own ships, but it's going to be hell to watch other people's ships happening while you're waiting for yours to come around. And I think that's what's going to happen regarding her love life, because I don't think she's actually going to, like, settle now. If she does, it won't be with Dyson. It'll either be with Lauren or Tamsin, and the likelihood is that it's going to be with Lauren. And I think Tamsin is going to become, like, the partner slash family member that replaces Kenzie. But I don't want that to happen. That's just what I think is looking like is going to happen, because there's been a lot of like promos where kind of Tamsin now goes on like the PI missions with Bo, having left the Force, and she even dresses up as a cheerleader, and I'm really looking forward to that episode for obvious reasons. So yeah, I don't know where this season's going. I don't know. This episode is I can't decide whether it's one of my favourites or one of my least favourites, because as much as there was Valkubus, it was just all tease. And as much as there was storyline, it was not for Bo. And it was cool to see Lauren have like a main part of the storyline, don't get me wrong, that was cool. But it just didn't feel like there was enough. And considering how much they've got to get through, it's difficult to kind of imagine where it's going to go. Considering there's also been like time in between episodes as well, so I don't know. I don't know what they're playing at. They've obviously got some kind of big idea that they've put together, and I still have no doubt that this season, once it all comes together, will be fantastic. I don't doubt that at all. I just think at the moment it's taking its time to sink in for everyone, and because it feels like they're rushing episodes, it's not really kind of settling well. I think that's just what it is. But I do still have hope that this season is actually going somewhere in the right direction, and I'm sure it won't be too long till we find out. It'll probably be I'm gonna put my thought out there, and it's probably gonna be wrong because my last one was as well, but I'm just gonna say I think up until the first half of the season ends, I think everything is gonna be very hectic. I think it's gonna be very disjointed. And I think not a lot of it's going to make sense. And then when we have that break, it's going to give it time to settle. And then when it comes back, hopefully we'll have missing pieces of the puzzle given to us, and everything will slot together. And then when we are able to watch it back, episode 1 to 16, episode 1 to 16, like start to finish, it will kind of gel in, I'm hoping. I'm not saying that I think that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying that's what I hope happens, because it would make sense that they play off the second half of the season like that, where they kind of tie up loose ends and make sure everything does fit, because when it comes to the end of a TV series, they can't afford to have loose ends if they have no intention in picking it back up again. I mean, yeah, this is a different TV show completely from anything else I've ever watched, And yes, it does mess around with the boundaries of how far you can push your fans. And yes, it does frustrate me. But they do what they do well. And as far as I'm concerned, if they've got this big TV show that's as popular as it is, they must be doing something right. So I still have faith that they are going to bring everything together in the end, even if it does take the whole first half of the season of being a mess before we do actually get things tying in together. I do have faith that they are going to pull everything together at the end, because the big thing that's confusing me at the moment is the lady from the elevator, and I don't know if that's supposed to be Persephone's mum, because it was with the candle, and then she got blown up in the elevator, which I didn't realise happened, but now she's alive and she's killed Lauren's assistant. So, you know, there is a lot of different things going on, but I do think that eventually, even if it is very eventually, they will all kind of mould into one big plot, and hopefully it will all work out. That's what I hope, and I have high hopes, because this TV show is so good that I kind of can't imagine it going to shit. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on this episode. I know there's a lot of people who are going to be happy and unhappy, so I want to know what you think. Let me know what you think of my review, and hopefully next week, I don't know if they're having a break in Lost Girl, but there's normally a break over Christmas, but because of the split season, I don't know if they're going to have a break this time around. So hopefully next week there'll be a review for hopefully the next part that comes out. Keep an eye out for the rest of the videos that are coming up this week. What day is it today? It's a Wednesday, so it's Christmas tomorrow. We've got a lot of videos coming out. We've had a lot of videos come out this week, and Christmas is tomorrow, so I will post a vlog of all the cool stuff I've got, because I've got a lot of stuff for the channel coming for Christmas this year, so keeping you guys in mind, even with my own Christmas presents. That's dedication right there. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your reviews in the comments below, and until the next time you hear from me, guys, stay classy, gamers.